Hello and welcome to the Curse City Chronicle, issue number 3 for the 23rd of February 2021. Okay, this issue, we're getting rid of all pretense of this being a imaginary publication from Ulfenkarn itself. I imagine there's some kind of printing press hidden deep underground to sort of get news out to the remaining people in the city, if there's anyone left in the city. Because let's actually talk about the game, this issue. On the weekend, we had the Lords of the Mortal Realms Warhammer preview, online preview reveal thing, and we've been getting some hints of what's going to come in Curse City. We've seen some good guys, some bad guys. And I thought, they'll dribble it out a little bit. Oh, no, you don't want that? You want everything? Here's everything. They showed off the entire game. Other than gameplay and some specifics of the game, but they've shown off the box art, a funky new video. They've shown off the contents of the game itself, models in close-up, all the models in close-up actually, and a book, and oh my god, and just so much stuff. So that's what we're going to do this issue. We're going to look at the game. So we've played the New Quest Awaits video, which shows off a lot more of the characters, some funky cool characters too, some of the bad guys, and generally set up the whole premise of the game. And with that, the website as well has been updated, and I'll do a separate issue for that, because that's going to take some time to get through. So let's just look through the images that Warhammer community have put up. The box art. It is a very different kind of box art for a Warhammer game. I love the sketchy drawn style of it. The blacks and reds, pretty much the only two colors in it. And some whites, of course, but is white really color? Is black really color? Either way, whatever. Yeah, I love it. I get very Mordheimy vibes, which I think a lot of people have gotten, but it seems to be a lot more dark and grimdark even. And then we have the game itself. So I will go through the list in a second of what's actually in the box, but from this image here, this is Warhammer Quest. We know what we're getting with the character cards. You get the 4 dice, and then that you roll those at the start of a turn, and then you'll know what you can do. In the top there, next to the right of the bad guys, you get the turn tracker, which is really interesting. I really love that turn tracker and what enemies come out and populate the map just randomly. I really love that from Warhammer Quest Blackstone Fortress, because you just don't know what you're going to get. We also get all the models there, tons of tokens, tons of extra cards, Ulfenkarn in Peril card thing. I don't quite know what that is. You do get the Destiny dice. That looks like it's something specific. It looks like it's a clock as well, although it only goes to 10 or 11. That could be something to do with night and day, and certain magics will happen or certain events will happen. I think that's really interesting. We do have something called empowerment underneath the character cards. Can't really make out the text, and as we get more info, we'll come towards that. So, looks really cool. So let's have a look. Let's talk a little bit more about the actual contents themselves, and we'll come back to the models. Don't worry. So in the box, we've got 8 heroes. We'll talk about the heroes in a second. You get the rulebook and the quest book. So general rulebook, how to play, and then the quest book, because you want to keep those separate, because you also don't always want to know what you're going to see. Then we've got the 42 hostiles of varying different types. There's a ton of those. 8 objective markers, which is interesting. I like it. They didn't really have that in Blackstone Fortress, as far as I'm aware. I can't even remember. Don't think they did. So that's kind of cool. We've got the War Scrolls book if you want to play it in Age of Sigmar. So all the characters, I guess, and the hostiles, which would be kind of cool. Counters and tokens. You're going to have tons of counters and tokens of various different things. 28 dice. I'm happy that they're going with the pips on the dice. So you got 12-sided dice, 10-sided, 6-sided, 4-sided. Like, those dice, I really love that idea. And I was hoping that was one thing they brought across to Curse City from Blackstone Fortress. Then we have the board tiles, gateways, and lich gates. Very cool. One thing I am disappointed but not surprised about is that the board tiles are square-based and not hex-based. From Blackstone Fortress, I loved the hex-based map layout. It adds a lot of strategy and a lot of tactics in there, like getting in corners and trying to get the right angle, but you can never always get the right angle because of how hexes work. I thought that was really cool. You got all the cards you need to play, so character cards, hostile cards, item cards, quest cards, blah, 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 blah. Whole, it's a game of cards, really. So many cards, and I love games like that. That's why I love Gloomhaven, because it has so many cards. Oh my god, it's all cards. And then you have the secret envelope. So in Blackstone Fortress, you got a secret envelope that you would get once you've finished the game. You've got to the last mission and you've completed the game. And correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but that was a random card from a set of like 10, I believe. I could be completely wrong. So every box kind of got a different one. I could be wrong there. So definitely correct me, and I hope it's the same. I really love that idea that this box is my box. My characters will be completely different to your characters, because the secret envelope in mine, I got basically one of my characters who did a certain thing at the end of the game became immortal to a certain degree. I think that just had really high saves. They could re-roll things and save wounds and things like that. I thought that was really cool. So that's very, very interesting. I'm hoping that they do continue with that. So it's a huge game, as you'd expect. So let's talk about some of the heroes themselves. So I'm not going to go into too much detail of each of the heroes and the overlords of Ulfenkarn. I'm going to save that for another issue. Go back into like the narrative type thing of what this newspaper is. But so who we've seen Jelson Darroch, Witch Hunter, Vampire Hunter, very cool model, and that was like, yep, I'm in this game. This is what I want. This is 2020 Mordheim. Thank you very much. Then we have qulathis. Oh my god, pronouncing this name. I keep mispronouncing it. Every time I see it in different text, I pronounce it differently. Okay, let's try. qulathis, the exile. We've seen her wood elf out for vengeance, and we'll just do what she has to do to kill all the vampires, which is very cool. We have Imelda Braskov. She is a soldier who the overlord of the Cursed City, Radukar the Wolf, her army got wiped out, so she's back for vengeance. She's gonna do it, which is awesome. Dagnai Holdenstock. He's a trade commodore. He's known as a veteran entrepreneur with a knack for creative interpretation of the Caradron code. So he's there for the treasure. Nice. I love the design. I love like the influence of naval and nautical type things. I think that's really nice. Glorio van Alten III. He's a duelist. He is very brash. He's a last surviving member of the once proud Van Alten dynasty, so he's out to avenge his family. So, okay, he's tied to the city himself. He wants to slay his 3 cousins, who each willingly receive the blood kiss. Okay, quick diversion. Let's talk about who these are. Vikos Bloodborne. I've got 3 of them up on screen at the moment. These are the ones that took the blood kiss. The blood kiss. So, 3 of them that, what's his name? Glorio van Alten III. There is 3 cousins. So, there may be more than 3 of them. We'll see. I'm sure that once he does that quest, he'll get a whole bunch of cool stuff. Very nice. Then we get this weird one. I want to know about this. Cleona Zeitengale. So she's a missionary of the Cult of the Comet. I love it. She's from the Cult of the Comet with some funkiness going on with her clothing. I really like the design. And it looks like she's got some metal scythe stakes. So she can see, she has visions, I guess. Kind of, she's a missionary. We'll just read the text. Cleona tried to warn the city of the cataclysm to come, but her warnings fell on deaf ears. So maybe she saw into what was happening. She has some kind of magic, so she's probably a magician of some kind. So maybe with some precog powers, possibly, who knows. We have Octron Grimsky, which when I first thought, I thought they were like some undead thing, but apparently they're wearing a mask. And he is like a necromancer, essentially. Based on the text, he could be weird. He worked with Torgillius the Chamberlain, and he wants to end it. He wants to stop all of that nonsense going on. Very interesting model. He doesn't have a face, as far as I can tell. Or he has a mask on. Interesting. And then Brute God Corpse Eater. He's an ogre mercenary, and he loves eating dead things. Skeletons, rotten zombies, and even mummified cadavers. Ooh. Okay. gross. I love how these guys are, they're kind of all generally, I wouldn't say all bad guys, but they're very grey. They're anti-heroes, I guess. They're very much in it for themselves. They have a few honourable things that they're trying to do, but overall, they're in it for themselves. So, very cool. Oh, I love it. I love how they all have their own little backstory, just like 2 sentences. It gives you so much narrative about how you play them and what they will be doing and what to expect with them. So let's look at the overlords. We've seen a few of these already. So we're seeing Gorslav, the Gravekeeper. We've looked at him a little bit in depth, but he tends the crypts and pits of the Ulfenkarn corpse garden. So gross. We have Watch Captain Halgrim. Check out issue 2 of Cursed Chronicle because I do a lot of in-depth, bit more on him and the Deathrattle Ulfenwatch. We also have Torgillius, the chamberlain. Again, check out issue 2. We'll go into a bit there. But he is sort of like the guy that turned, one of the first people to turn to the vampires and be like, yep, I'm all in. And he's sort of a weird necromancer type thing that can see through animals who are his pets, and he knows what's going on. So we've got the Vicross Bloodborne, which we hinted at earlier. So they took the Blood Kiss and became part of Radikar's Thirsting Court. And so they're said to be transformed into half-feral creatures. They serve the wolf's will. They hunt and assassinate anyone who's questioned his dominance and stalk the death-shrouded streets of Ulfenkarn in search of prey to torment and consume. So we know Van Elton, or whatever his name is, he's hunting at least 3 of them, who are his cousins, because they took the Blood Kiss, and he's like, not on. Then we have the big bad himself, Radikar the Wolf. He's the tyrannical master of Ulfenkarn, a vampire of ancient power and cunning whose ambition is matched only by his savage cruelty. So he took the Blood Kiss, got lots of strength and eternal life, and now he's in uncontrollable blood rage. So he is the big bad, which is very cool. I like to have a big bad. It's very nice. So we've shown the models as we're talking about these things, so these characters. So some very cool models, some simple models. It's going to be some really cool ones to paint, like the ogre. I think that's a very cool, interesting model too, that he likes to eat dead things. Odd. So let's look at some of the hostiles, they're calling them. Firstly, we've got bats. Weird, creepy bats too. Just, oh, no thank you. The one on the left-hand side is just disgusting. I don't want to deal with that. But of course, it's grimdark horror and vampires. You're going to have lots of bats. Then we have lots of rats. I was expecting to see some larger rats. There is a large rat on one of the bases, but I thought you'd get some giant rats. But these seem to be little packs of rats. Some of them seem to be undead with no faces, which is odd. They just have skulls. Very weird and gross. Then we have some of these fellas. These are the Kosagi Night Guard. I'd have to read a little bit more into these guys, but we have seen a glimpse of these models previously, and we thought it might have been some nautical undead type thing going on. Turns out it's not. These are weird, abominational creatures that I love their cloaks. So tattered and everything. And a little rat that holds a key. Super cute. So don't know much about them. As usual, when we know more, we'll do another issue of the Chronicle. And then we've got tons of skeletons of varying different kinds. Tons and tons of different skeletons. I think the skeletons themselves might be a bit too busy. I think that now we've got so many of them, I'm a little worried that that cloth is just going to take away from having them on the table themselves. I don't know. That's just my own personal feeling. We'll see. We'll see how that goes once they're all put together. But I love the shields, how they're tattered and very unique designs. Then we have what they're calling Dead Walker Zombies. So they're a little strange. They're zombies. Okay, you gotta have zombies. It looks as if the tops of their coffins have been staked to them, tied to them, and they're just carrying it around. These definitely would have been raised up by Torgillius and Gorslav to do their bidding. Very odd looking models. I don't know how I feel about it. I think there's too much going on. It's a bit too comical. I would have been happy if they just had the coffin lids attached to them somehow, or they've got the gravestones tied or chained to them, or they were dragging them behind them. I think that might have worked a bit better. That's my own personal opinion. So Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. There are a few other bits and pieces around. We have another shot. Well, not another shot. We have this thing. I don't know what it is. I love it. It's like a giant bat wolf thing. So I'm thinking it might be Radakar the wolf when he transforms. I'm assuming he transforms into a wolf bat thing. Only because it has some bat ears, bat face, kind of wings growing on his arm, but it really is some kind of wolf. I like it. It could be some weird boss experiment that Torgillius has created. Who knows? But that is an interesting one. And that's all really we have. That's the only news we have. Like I said, the website does have a lot of news on it. It has new lore, all about the characters, more things on the map, but we will come back to that at a later date. Should also note that there is also a novel coming out called Curse City, and that follows someone, who knows, doesn't actually say. But you do get a unique hero card to help on your quest. That could be interesting. Whether that is a new character itself or an existing character with a slightly different type of thing. Could possibly be that character in the background, like with the scythe, possibly. But how you do that with a character or a model, maybe it doesn't, maybe it just gives you a buff or something. It's a card that you take with you and you attach it to a character, or it gives you some rerolls or whatever, I don't know. We'll see. So there we go. It's an exciting time. I did not think that the box would be shown off this soon. I thought maybe in a few weeks, maybe. But usually the timeline from now is the box will probably come out within 2 months, 6 weeks maybe. So there'll definitely be more info coming up soon. Be more info about how to play the game. And when we get all that info, I will put it all together. So that's it for this issue of the Cursed City Chronicle, issue number 3. Thank you for watching this video. If you do enjoy this, please do hit that subscribe button, because obviously we're going to have more news coming out all the time, and I'm trying to get these issues out a lot quicker. We are definitely going to look into the characters themselves and a bit more of the lore now we have the website up, so that will hopefully come later in the week, probably on the weekend. So that's it. I'm out. Thanks for watching. Let me know what your favorite model is below. I haven't decided yet. The ogre's pretty cool. The giant bat wolf thing is pretty awesome too, but who knows. So I'm out. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next issue.